Lisa.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Be Sober podcast series.
Well, I've no 14 or something. I don't know. Is it 14?
I have no clue, but it's episode 1.
Yeah, we're back. Does it matter when it is? I think it's 14. 14. We are the most unprofessional podcast, though, because literally all our seasons are different lengths. We started off so well. We used to have a weekly episode or a fortnightly or a monthly or something. And we said we'd have 10 episodes. And then it just went on and on because we couldn't stop getting guests. Do you remember?
It was never ending.
I couldn't stop asking people to come on our podcast.
And they did. They came on.
And they're still coming on.
I can't believe it.
They're still coming on. In fact, that's why we're back early, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm really excited for today's guest. Like, so excited.
Are we telling them now?
Yeah.
Oh, go on then.
So we've got today's guest is Lisa Riley, also known as Mandy Dingle.
Yeah.
Now, you know what's really funny about this is like I don't watch, like neither of us really watch TV anymore, do we? So I'm not.
Not that we don't really watch TV. We don't watch TV. We're not allowed.
No, that's true. But Emmerdale and the Dingles, I clearly remember them coming into Emmerdale.
Yeah, like I do as a kid.
Like, yeah, it was like it was a really big thing, weren't it? Yeah. This like crazy family had joined Emmerdale. Yeah. So Lisa's face has been like a face that I've known for so long.
I wonder how long she's been in Emmerdale, to be honest. We'll ask her when she comes in the room in a minute. We'll ask her because I don't know how it's got to be ages. I mean, I reckon coming up 30 years or more.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be. And then I saw actually when I was having a little stalk that she's just married Paddy, and I'm like, I'm sure she married him when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think she did.
Yeah, she did, but it's all happened again. Like we are in the Matrix. It's crazy.
Oh, I love Paddy.
See, we still know, like, Paddy surely is still a vet, yeah?
I was really shocked, though, because when I last saw Paddy, when I happened to catch an episode, he didn't have any hair.
Oh, my God. I actually said that to Rob last night. I was like, because there was a picture on one of the magazines and it showed their first wedding and then this wedding. And I was like, oh, my God, he had such beautiful hair, but yeah, not got any now.
Yeah. Speaking of like things disappearing, we just started a conversation a second ago and I said, let's save that. I can't see.
Oh, God,
I shouldn't laugh at that because genuinely, I know I'm saying it really like tongue-in-cheek and flippantly, but I actually, honestly, I'm wearing my glasses more and more. I might have to put them on during this podcast.
You know what? I have now. I can't believe it. I've got readers. And I wear contact lenses, but I have
to put them on with you.
I have to put them on top, So if I read, and I saw a meme the other day, something like, you know, you're in your 40s when you take a picture of something to zoom in so you can read the instructions. And I'm like, I totally do that, which is stupid because there's a setting on all iPhones where you can actually zoom.
I've zoomed on my phone already. I've actually increased the text size. I think you told me that you'd increase your text size.
Yeah, mine's bigger.
You succumbed to it. So I think on our last Be Wild, I went, oh, your texts are bigger or something like that.
I've
made mine big. I refuse to go to the maximum. Right?
Oh, no, you cannot go to the maximum. But even like readers, the word readers, it really affected me, right? I'd never thought about it.
Why are you calling them readers?
Right, this is why. Readers. I'm telling you why, right? So my mum has always said, oh, where's my readers? And like older women have readers, right? And then Rob said to me yesterday, Lisa, is this case for your readers? And I was traumatized. I was like, we don't call them that. We don't call them that.
They're just reading glasses.
Yes.
Let's give them the full title. It doesn't sound as old.
But look at this. Speaking of which, I am sat here with a hot water bottle around my back.
You went away from the mic. I hope that came through, but she's got a hot water bottle on her back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's falling apart. I can't even tell you the text message she sent me yesterday. I won't, but honestly, it wasn't very PC. The basis of it is that Lisa thinks she should have a blue badge.
I'm rubbing your nose here because there's a bit on my computer.
Oh, are you?
I felt like, it was really weird. I was like, rubbing it off
now. Stop it. You've given me an itchy nose. Right, but seriously, like, I can't see either. Everything's declining. And last night we were watching something on Netflix because I'm not allowed to watch TV.
Because you can't remember either.
Well, I can't remember because I can't be bothered remembering because I'm not a big TV person anyway. And the sound on the programme changed. But I was like, I said to my husband and my daughter, please tell me the sound's just changed, because I was so convinced that it might have been my ears now disappearing.
Oh no! So it had gone quieter rather than louder.
But it was meant to do it. It was meant to do it. So I think
I'm a bit deaf though, as well, because when I can't see people talking, I don't know what they're saying.
Sorry, all I can imagine is you now with your claw hand.
Oh, piss off. That's, you know what? Speaking of this claw hand, when I went to the osteopath, because I do that now, I have an osteopath now, fuck's sake. Right, when I went to the osteopath.
You used to go out clubbing and dance on bars.
Now I spend my money on an osteopath.
Go on, tell us about your claw and your osteopath.
When I went, he was asking because I've got a curved spine and disc damage. I don't, Alex. It's all going wrong. So it said to me,
listen, I am going to laugh at your curved hunchback. You laughed at my stroke.
No, I never said hunch. We never said that word. Piss off.
You laughed when I had a stroke. I'm going to laugh. You were on.
I'm trying to sit up right now. My grandma had a bit of a hunch, It's because we're tall. So we try to get
everyone's been telling you for years you're tall. Don't start that. Seriously, anyway, though, if you wrote down all the things that we talk about, your clawed hand, your bad back, your curved spine.
It's not clawed, by the way, guys. It does look a bit bent now, though. Well, the osteopath said to me, do you have any numbness anywhere? So I said, well, I don't think this is connected, but yeah, from my wrist to the top of my little finger is numb. Anyway, he had a good feel and he was like, Lisa, that you've fractured your wrist. When
did you fracture?
When I fell. Do you remember when I fell outside the front door?
In the snow?
No, that was last year.
Another time?
Yeah, really hurt myself. I had to wear a wrist thing.
When did you fall? What was it for?
It was only a few months ago, about 6 months ago. Anyway, he said I'd fractured it.
This podcast's too funny.
He said you should have had that thing too.
It's the story of your life, this, right? I should have got that looked at. You've nearly cut your finger off before now.
I know. I don't maybe, I should have had it looked at. But what would they have done, really?
Well, they'd have put it in like a support. So they'd have put, what's it called? A cast? See, I'm losing my mind.
Anyway, enough of my injuries.
They'd have put a cast on it and then you
get onto yours being blind.
They wouldn't now think that you had, or you wouldn't have thought that you had a claw, would you?
But I haven't. I thought it might eventually get. What did I think it was?
Oh, I don't know. Something tunnel, something with a long word tunnel.
Yeah, it weren't carpal tunnel. It was the other one, weren't it?
Yeah. Iliac
anyway,
tunnel.
I don't think it's that. It's because, but that physio should have known that, shouldn't he?
Well, I don't know. I feel like you should have known it.
Yeah, that's true. It did hurt. I can't believe you can't remember. See, I have such a high pain threshold.
Yeah, no, I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember anything. Sam said to me this morning, my husband, that he was telling me his dream last night in the night. And I'm like, what? I don't remember anything. I mean, granted, I was probably asleep, but,
It's just short-term stuff, though, because your memory at long-term stuff is actually incredible. Yeah. Oh, my God, you're officially older, because that's what they say when they're older. They say, oh, I can't remember what I've gone upstairs for, but I can tell you the dates of this, and that. That's
your mum's the same,
Yeah.
My mum, like you say to me, Mum, when with this? And she was like, 12 o'clock in 1965 on the 20th.
That's incredible.
Honestly, she's the same. She can really, anyone wants to know a date of something in our family, they get in touch with my mum, just like you would with me.
That's crazy.
It's funny, but yeah, I mean, when I look at you, I'm surprised you didn't have your finger fixed when you nearly cut that off. You could have killed yourself when you fell on those rocks.
Oh, that was really bad. I saw myself come out of my body that time. I think even Rob thought I was like, that was it. I swear to God, I think when I ask him now, he's like, yeah, that were bad. And he doesn't exaggerate anything.
You say this, right? Me and you, see, something really nice has happened this week. I don't know what. Me and Lisa have obviously been friends forever. I don't even know how many years. Well, I do know how many years. I could tell you the date, but I won't. But anyway, a long time. And our kids, they all love each other. They love us, like they all know us.
Yeah.
But we've never really got them together. There's been the odd occasion that I can think about where we've brought them together.
Yeah.
But I know that if anything was to happen, Lisa's kids would be able to contact me. So I texted the other day. I was like, Leah wants your phone number. She's like, well, she should have it anyway. But
she should.
But she's like just gone closer to you all of a sudden, hasn't she? Over the last few weeks.
We like shopping, innit?
They like shopping and they like coffee. Which I know I do, but they like
decaf, by the way. Yeah. I've stayed away from all coffee, but I've actually found a decaf that I quite like. So I'm really pleased about that.
That's good. But you've been telling Leah how to get coffees.
Yeah, I am.
And teaching her. So Lisa showed my daughter Leah a bag that she'd bought, and she knows not to bother showing me because I'd go, that's nice, and then just move on, right? But Leah was really appreciative, so much so that she went home and bought the same bag, but a bigger version of it.
I know, I love it.
She was asking you advice on a bottle or something, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I know. I feel like such a wanker as well because she sent me a picture and she was like, "What do you think of this bottle?" And
she told me the response.
I know, and I'm like, "Oh, I've had that," and I feel like, God, is there nothing that I've not kind of had?
No, that's why the Amazon man's on first name terms with you.
I'll tell you what, Alex. So I know last time we touched briefly on me being diagnosed with ADHD, or I was either going for the...
You'd had Olivia's tablets.
Yeah, I tried Olivia's tablet, and which then kind of made me go and get my own diagnosis. And I've started ADHD medication. So I've been tracking it over on my TikTok, actually. So if anybody does want to see properly how it's going, you can see it on my TikTok. I think it's under Lisa... I don't even know what my TikTok is. Anyway, I digress. I digress, not diverse. I'm neurodiverse.
Put it down. Yeah, you're neurodiverse, but you digress. Go.
And now I've nearly forgot the point, honestly, but I've started the tablets. And why was I telling you that? That's why I can't have caffeine.
I don't know.
Oh, I can't remember now. That's so annoying. It's because I was looking for my TikTok.
See, well, you should have had a tablet today.
I've had one.
Oh, dear. You'll have to up the dose.
You know what? I've made a deal as well that nobody can say that to me. So I don't know whether I've spoke to you about this.
That you have to have a tablet?
Yeah, because I think it's dead offensive. So like...
Oh, I am sorry for offending you.
So I've started the medication. I started on a lower dose and I've just upped my dose and I'm actually getting shopping. That's why I was saying it. I've not been impulse buying. I've not been shopping. Really? I've not had any deliveries, only for work, which I've had to have. But yeah, I've not really bought anything. And yesterday when I went to the cinemas, two things that I noticed. First one was that I walked through all the shops to the cinema, didn't even look and think, oh, I want that. Oh, I could go in there, which is constant, like when I do that normally. And when I sat in the cinema, I was really still. Like, I felt myself being still.
I was shocked when I phoned you and you said, I've just got out of the cinema. I was like... I said to Sam afterwards, I was like, I can't believe Lisa's actually, she either really loves the film, really loves Rob, or she's had a tablet.
Yeah. I was, it was a mixture of all three. Yeah, it was a mixture of all three. So, but yeah, I never just realised how still I was throughout. I were fidgeting or waiting for the movie to be over, but I've not been shopping impulsively like I was. It's really helped with that.
So you think that they're going to... What you were saying, sorry, so it's offensive if anyone tells you need a tablet?
Yeah, I think so, because I've told you now, I've started my medication, so that means I'm pretty much on my medication. So and this is what I keep saying to Rob, they are to assist, not to cure. Like, it's not going to change me. It's not going to.
I want it to change you. I enjoy a good giggle.
I was a little bit worried that they might change me, but it doesn't seem to have changed me. It just seems to have helped me focus. I'm not as impulsive. I can sit still-ish.
You can actually. And do you know what I've really noticed? And I hope this is, well, it won't be offensive because it's a compliment. But what I've really noticed is if I phone you up and I need to do one of my little round the houses stories to get to what I'm asking, you've just been dead calm and accepting of it. Whereas before you would have gone, oh, I don't need to know all the backstory. Just get to the point. And you would have said that.
Yeah.
You've not done that once.
Yeah, I have found.
Or have you just accepted that I'm like that?
Well, there probably is a little bit of that because we've kind of said that, haven't we? We've come to terms with how different that we are and stuff like that. So there probably is a bit of that. But I do feel like I'm getting a lot from it so far.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah. But if I'm a bit scattered, that's because it's who I am. It doesn't mean I have to have a tablet because I've already had one. That was for everybody that ever says it to me.
Well, I've said it about 5 times. I consider myself told. I will not say it again, I think. I'll try my best. I've had some really weird moments with... that's what I was telling you before, and I'll come back to this because it's very relevant and our guest is here, so we'll let her in. But Leah had said to me when I was increasing the size of my text messages, and I said, I refused to put it on the full. She went, oh, I'm so glad. She said, wandering around church, people are like that with one word on a line. So I'm not quite there yet. But the church thing, what's made that pop in my head is I've had some really bad anxiety again over playing the organ.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like really bad imposter syndrome of not being good enough and feeling like I can't do it and feeling like they should have a professional player. And I don't know what's going on. So we'll have a little of analysis of that at some point.
Yeah, we will. We'll talk about that. Definitely imposter syndrome. I think it's...
I wonder if our next guest has ever had imposter syndrome.
Yeah, we'll find out. It's
should we let her in? Should we let her in?
Yeah, well, it would be a good idea, Alex.
I know it might be. It would
be helpful.
Just scratch the mic with my nails. So if there was a weird noise in your headphones, everybody, I'm sorry.
Have you seen that salad fingers?
Oh, don't tell me anything that's going to make me laugh. Lisa!
Hi! How are you? Oh,
this is so exciting.
I'm getting excited. Right, first of all, where are you? Are you from Bury?
Well, Manchester, yeah, Rochdale, Littleborough. Do you know Littleborough?
Of course I do. Yeah. So I'm Bury born and bred. Because when I listened to the Yours and Roots, and I was like, they're definitely from my neck of the woods.
Yes, we are.
I taught at Bury College for years.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. I mean, I haven't lived in Bury now. Jeez, God, years and years and years and years. But yeah, all my family is still there, so I get back loads.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know.
Yeah, not far.
Not far at all. We were just talking, how long have you been in Emmerdale?
20th of July, 2025 will be 30 years.
Wow.
I said 30
Alex gets 30 years.
You know, I had a really big clump in the middle where I did all my other programs.
Yeah.
But 30 years is going to be my birthday.
Because we were saying, both of us remember you arriving on that show.
I know, it's crazy. That's how old we are, girls. Yeah.
Talking about it, Lisa.
It's crazy. And Mandy was only ever supposed to be for one episode.
Really?
Yeah, it was only ever supposed to be Tina's wedding. She was supposed to come, cause a load of mischief like the Dingle girls do. Yeah. And then that was it. And literally, I went on holiday with my friend. And in those days, no mobile phones. Thank God my mum worked for Air Tours. She was able to fax the lobby reception of the hotel I was staying at, saying, please, will you ring your agent because they need to get hold of you. So I did, and it was like they want to bring you back for a Siege series in the storyline. Went back for 4 eps. Rest was history. I know.
Oh, that's amazing.
Only Mandy Dingle. I know.
It is amazing. It's quite a career, that, isn't it? Like, and there's no sign of, I mean, obviously don't give anything away, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of you not being in it.
No, I've just signed another contract. So I'm obviously doing something right. Yeah. And obviously everyone's elated that Paddy and Mandy are back together. You know, that's like, that carrot's been dangled for far too long. So now we're back together. Everyone's like, yeah, bingo. And I don't know what, I love my job, girls. I love, you can tell as an actor, right? You can tell that the writers really enjoy writing for her. Like there's no pause, there's no off button. They'll give me, I never go upstairs asking for storyline. Like, you know, we have the office upstairs. You either go upstairs begging for a story or you go upstairs to be sacked, right? It's either one of the two. And I don't like to do either. I just like to get given what I'm given. They always write brilliantly for me. And like I said, and the costumes, every day is a dress up day, you know.
It's mental. It really is. Like, but yeah, genuinely. And just when you were saying then it's how old we are, the conversation at the start of this introduction is all about ours too. I mean, more Lisa, because I like to take the mick out of her at the moment. We're both falling apart and like, you know, glasses. Can't hear, bad backs. Yeah. Well, I've had mine. Mine are here. I wasn't going to put them on, but now I am because you've got yours on and you look
nice.
Got
mine on because I can't see. Yeah.
I'm avoiding my reader. I said I've already got contact lenses.
Readers.
Put them on.
do you do what I call the couch groan? The couch groan.
Oh yeah.
When
Lisa,
you watch telly for half an hour and we all do the couch groan.
Oh, it's bad. I'm sat here with a hot water bottle because I've done my back in. And me and my partner, honestly, yesterday, every time we got up, we're going, oh, and I'm like, what is happening to us?
It's not glam, is it? No, but I think it's a lot of it's now. It's how you feel in your head. You know what I mean? As you know, I'm a real sort of believer in positivity, and like I have an aversion to people who do what I call mindless moaning, trivial moaning. They can't hear themselves. And so rather than say anything, I just go, okay, I'm just going to walk away now.
I love that.
It's brilliant because it doesn't help anybody. And they're only doing themselves a disservice, you know, and like you just think you're a better person just to step away from it completely.
I love that. Can I ask you then, is that something that you've done? Because let's talk sober. Let's talk being sober.
9 years, Tuesday,
just reached 9 years.
Done.
Yes, I know. It's a great feeling. And, you know, even at work, like we were all filming together and I was with every member of the Dingle family doing this upcoming storyline we're doing filming on Monday. And one by one, they just individually came up to me and went, Lise, we're so proud of you. We're so proud of you. And I was like, well, these are my work family, you know. And also with my job, there's that many events, the award stuff, the dinners you have to go to. And to this day, it's still a bit awkward. Like, but why? Because I don't drink, you know, and we'll talk about this loads obviously today, but yeah, it's never a case of like, if someone put a big orange Warburtons in front of you and went, eat that in one, they wouldn't go, why are you not doing it? Why are you not doing that? You know, but with alcohol, it seems to still be this stigma in this country that you're slightly weird that you don't drink. Or if I said to you two girls, come and meet me for a drink, why can't that be a tea or coffee? Why does it have to be a bottle of Pinot Grigio? You know,
we were dead shocked, you know, and we say this, we said it on a podcast before, because we're surrounded with Be Sober and because all our community is sober, the people we meet are sober. Yeah. We got landed on a camping event a couple of years back and we couldn't believe people. We were really shocked that people still talked about alcohol, weren't they? We're like, oh, it's when not the whole world.
Yeah.
Did you feel safer there, though? Did you feel safer?
I think we were quite stable in our sobriety by then. So it wouldn't have mattered like what you're, you know, people wouldn't, anything could have happened really, and neither of us would have gone back to it by that point.
Yeah.
But it was just the whole conversation around it. Oh, let's get back to the tent and open some booze. And we were both just like, oh, people are doing that. Like,
it really shocked us because we're in our own little bubble, I suppose, aren't we?
Yeah.
I love, Lisa, that you've just compared it. I've heard people say like they wouldn't line cocaine up and say have that. Never has anybody said a Warbies.
The big orange Warbies with cross, yeah.
Do you know what? My husband, if somebody put a Warbies in front of him, it wouldn't be there long enough to ask the question. And that's what made me think, oh, yeah. He'd definitely be able to relate to the Warburton's bread more than anything else, I reckon.
It's like my dad. My dad doesn't have butter. He has a swimming pool of butter on his Warbies.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So tell us, can we go back? I mean, we don't know the beginning story of how this came about. So just over 9 years ago, you're at a point in your life where you suddenly go, or maybe not suddenly, I'm giving up drinking. Can you take us back and tell us what brought you there?
Yeah, of course. So basically, like I said, well, we just said now about how long I've been playing Mandy Dingle. Many, years, like we all did, the binge drinking growing up, it was completely normal to be having, Mad Dog 2020 and all that. We all did that, and especially as northern chicks, definitely. and socially, I love to drink. I would always, work really hard. It never, ever interfered with my employment, ever. But it was always renowned, Lisa would have a drink. And then over the years and years go by, and, the stories always were like, when Lisa, and she was hammered, and da-da-da. And you start going, okay. And you sort of collect these little moments in your head, and all of a sudden these sentences, along with some other of my real nearest and dearest friends, it kind of always was us that was the butt of the joke, or the tagline of, this, and this. And then, they were absolutely plastered. So anyway, time went on, and I carried on drinking, didn't think anything different, socially, going out with the family, full bottle of wine. And then, as I've discussed a lot in the press, my mum got cancer, and the latter end of mum's life, she decided to move in with me, and I nursed her to her final breath. And everyone that knows my beloved mum, when everyone says Copydex, we were inseparable. From me being a kid in the industry, and I'm 7 at drama school, she was my totem pole. She kept my tent up. She was, if I made a mistake, she forgave me. If I was an idiot, she forgave me, and she made everything better. And then all of a sudden, this rug was pulled from under me, literally. And I was an adult, but I still kept that jovial, because I always had mum like a life chaperone, and not only my mum and the love for my mum, but everything to do with my work, she'd gone. And I was vulnerable. I was standing on my own 2 feet, feeling a bit lost, dealing with her cancer at the end, and seeing her suffer so much, that my world was crumbling. And obviously I wasn't sleeping. The last week before she passed, I don't think I did sleep. And then having to be, I don't like to use the word leader, but having to be the survival force of my family, with my dad and my brother. And then the funeral time, I found it really, really, really hard. And so I'd have a glass of wine, and then all of a sudden the glass was becoming a bottle. And then as she was, as we were after the time of the funeral, I just couldn't sleep. And I've said this openly many times, 2 bottles of Malbec was my, sleeping tablet. It really was. And constant. And what happened was, just before mum died, I got Strictly. So mum actually found out that I was doing the show, and she said, darling, don't care what anyone says, go out there on that dance floor and you just be you. And that was so planted on my head, right? And I was so lucky to be partnered with my beloved Robin, and he was so patient with me. Not only was he dealing with me as to teach me how to dance, he was dealing with my grief. And what better way to deal with grief than cover yourselves in sparkle and be with your gay best friend in the world? It was a win-win. And so we would practice, and we go back to the hotel where I was living in London, and every night over dinner it was drink and more drink and more drink. And I get up and we practice the next day, and then we go live on Saturday night to the Nation, and we go to the BBC bar after, and the drink was flowing. My friends would come back down from the north to support me in the audience, and we go back to the hotel, and I would be obliterated. But it wasn't letting me face up to the fact that A, I'd lost my mum, B, I wasn't coping, and C, I was massively using the bravado button by covering it with, it was Strictly and booze. It was those 2 things were the biggest plasters that I just surrounded myself with, head to toe, And my dad noticed it at the time, because I'm his eldest girl, and I suppose because I remind him so much of mum. And my brother stayed silent. That's how my brother always deals with stuff. And and then it just escalated. We went on tour with the Strictly tour, and I was with all my bezies, and we were living a rock star life, touring the country in this Strictly van, and it was just amazing. And we get the show would finish, we get on the coach, and there'd be like, I always remember there'd be always like at everyone's place on this huge coach we had, tour bus we had, you'd have your cheese sandwich, your packet of Walkers, and a bottle of wine, and then we go to the next venue, and it just became this absolute endless pattern. And then there was one week we were near the end of the tour, and we'd had a really big night with the band and everyone on the show, and we'd had a really good night. And I had a matinee, and I nearly dropped Robin, and I was like, because I wasn't focused, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And he'd already had a back injury, so I was a bit like, oh my God, this is a professional dancer. He's my best mate, and what am I, And then I was just a bit like, right, okay, this is getting, the partying's getting too out of hand, because I've never ever let it infringe in my work.
Yeah.
So I carried on like that for quite a while. And then I went into my next filming job. And then basically I was out with my beloved Auntie Joyce. She's now in heaven with my Uncle Jess, and we were out in Bury. We went for a drink in the Clarence. It's a beautiful... I
know the Clarence.
Yeah. We were having a rustic lunch now, and now it's gone a bit bougie in Bury. And,
were you upstairs or down?
Upstairs. Oh, I was up. Yeah, I am bougie in a little way. And I just said to them, I said, I'm going to get through Christmas without a drink. They're like, shut up. And the Maltec's flowing. And my Uncle Jess loves a drink. My Auntie Joyce, bless her, she loved a drink. And I said, no, I'm just going to play a little game with myself and see what will happen. And they were like, okay. And I could see that they had really patronizing eyes. Like, you ain't going to, I'm an actor, and I know how to portray patronizing eyes. And they literally, he looked at me, he's like, yeah, come on, God loves a trier. And the 19th of August, 9 years ago, was the day I sat in the Clarence pub in Bury with my Auntie Joyce and my Uncle Jess. And that is the last time alcohol touched my lips.
That's the way. It's give me goose pimples on. It's made me emotional as well. That was like, that's just amazing. And I love that you did that, Lisa. I really, really do. That I don't even know what to say, because it was such an emotional roller coaster then from your mum. I can't even imagine my life without my mum in it. I can't. I
was thinking of you as well then. Your mum is very much how you described the two Lisa's mums sound very poignant in the same way in the Lisa's lives. And it's so relatable as well, because every big sort of decision, I think, where you stop drinking comes from something really poignant in your life. Very similar. I can relate. I had a loss. Mine was a pregnancy loss. That's what led to me stopping. Lisa's was like huge family turmoil led to her stopping. It's always something big, isn't it? And you just stand back and you go, I'm not dealing with this anymore.
No. And it's nice to think that the three of us can sit here now and go, that was then, now's now. And I remember thinking, like, was I an alcoholic? And I still have that. I have that little wasp in my head. Like, was I an alcoholic? And I wasn't. I don't think I was, because I've been to AA, not in this country, because I was so petrified for some bizarre reason. Not that I was ashamed of it, but in my life, I get followed by the press, and or nowadays, everyone's a paparazzi because they've got an iPhone. So I remember thinking, and I was saying to Al the other half, and I said to him, I'm going to try AA because I'm actually interested. I've read so much about it to think, like, do I now need to brand myself and say, right, Lise, you were an alcoholic? So because I was so neurotic about like being followed in this country and feeling a little bit ashamed about it, when I was in America, I decided to go to AA over there. And I went to 4 sessions, and it was 4 consecutive days. And it was really strange because I felt like I was in like a play, because it was a lot like, hi, like, and they're like, hi, I'm Josephine. I'm now, I am now on day. And it was a bit, can I say, I felt a little bit like it was a little bit self-indulgent. Like they were all enjoying the attention that came with that. And it works for some people, and that's great. But I just kept thinking, I feel like I'm in either a sitcom, a drama, or a soap. and all three on all the different days with different characters. And for me, because I love people so much, I was going, oh, right, I want to write a sketch about Tony, that he's great. and I was looking around and I was doing it more as like as a research thing. And I suppose I came out of those days and I've spoken to a lot of my friends, two of which who are open alcoholics. And I've said to them, like, and they said, like, Lise, don't brand yourself. But I'm like, but fundamentally, I did have a problem because I couldn't stop, in the sense of, some people go and see the GP and get a Zopiclone, a sleeping pill, and Zopiclones work brilliantly and they can fall fast asleep. But with me, it was the alcohol. But the best part of now, the now Lisa for me, and I don't know if you two feel the same, is this freedom I have in my head of doing things that I want to do, not be pressing the bravado button constantly because I don't want to do stuff. I don't want to go to a baby shower, right? Literally, I don't want to do it. I don't like arches on Instagram. Like, I don't, things like that peck my head. I'm allowed to say it now. I don't like, and when you drink, what you do, and certainly what I did, so I'll talk from my own experiences. I was surrounding myself with scenarios that was so drink fueled. Yeah. And getting through it by getting so plastered and then not remembering. And what's been so interesting for me now I'm sober is the people who are probably, and I'm not being judgy here, I can say this is with love in my heart, right? Some people that I still know now that drink a lot, who I believe have drink problems because they can't go out without a drink and they can't be in a social situation. They couldn't do like a 3-girl lunch now without a drink. And that's fine if that's them. But they're still dining out on stories from when we were like 20. They're still, and do you understand? And whereas I feel that we're living now, and now's dead exciting, and that now's real fun, and there's no fake, and it's so real and sometimes so raw, but we deal with it by being just us, and I love the truth about my life. Can you relate to that?
Absolutely relate to more than you think. I mean, we did an episode right at the beginning actually, and we'd only been a year and 2 years sober, and we were talking about glory stories, and what you're describing is like, that whole sit down, and how many times do you do it? You go somewhere, do you remember that time when we did this? Oh, wasn't that great? And you're so right. You sat chewing the fat about the old days instead of getting on with the now. I've never heard anyone articulate it like that, but it's very, very real, that. Yeah.
And I don't want to do the same. Like, I realized in myself, I was mixing, again, my friend pool, but now I've got so many different friend pools, which I love, and I can go down to London and be with them, and then my non-drinker friends, and loads of my mates still drink, and it's never a problem. But I don't want to be doing the same things, because I realized in myself that I was actually quite bored, and that's why I was drinking to such excessive, states. And I know that in myself. Now I'm older and I'd like to think a bit more wiser. But it's that part of my life that I can sit here with the two of you now and feel really proud that I've gone, I don't really like that.
And you should.
I don't like that old me. I don't like her. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that, Lisa, when I look back as well. And when I first stopped, I remember saying, very much like you, I did it as an experiment. Yeah. I was like, you know what? I just want to know who I am and what I like. Like, I didn't know what I enjoyed anymore. When we talk about hobbies, I never really had hobbies. It was just socializing or going out, and the people that I surrounded myself with were all big drinkers as well. So when we went out, that was the only thing that we had in common. Yeah. And very much like you, I was so bored, which is why I would drink so much.
I love you saying that. I love you for saying that.
I was a little bit socially anxious as well, which I never realised until after I'd stopped drinking. But then I've also realised that depends on the people you're with, because if you're with the right people, I'm not socially anxious at all.
I know.
But when I'm going to these bars, It's just, and I was sober, but then I would drink more than everybody else. So I'd be the party animal, and it was such a big part of my identity.
Pusher, Lisa. She was a shot pusher.
Me too.
Yeah.
But
I realise now, and I've said this before, I realise I used to kind of push shots on people to kind of break the awkwardness and the
totally relate to
just
that.
kind of like to create a community with shots.
Get this. For my 30th, now you're going to cringe so bad. For my 30th, I had an ice sculpture of my torso and my knockers, right? An Archer's peach came out of my knockers when you put your shot glass. That's the truth. That's what I was doing. Yeah. Now that's squirmy. My Al, he tells everyone that story, like strangers. And I'm going, don't, he makes me sound like such a tit. I sound like a rat. I mean, who does that? Who does that?
Okay. If I'd have been in your situation, that's where you're like me, I think. That's the kind of dickheadish thing I would have done. Like I used to go. I used to go and do things like, I'll just go and have an arm wrestle with a random man and get us free shots for the night. Or I'll just do some press ups by that bar there just so that I look good. Yeah. It's a bit self-indulgent.
You think? Yeah, I know.
But you know what I heard? And I loved this. I've said it twice now this week, and it's my favourite. It's my saying of the week. If you could go back and erase all your past mistakes, you wouldn't be who you are now.
Amen to that. Amen on every level to that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so poignant that I wouldn't undo any of my things after. I broke my arm and it was caught on video, drunk dancing at a funeral. Yeah. Like that. I'm not proud of it, but I kind of am.
It's like it's part of your life. There was one in Emmerdale, and I've never I'm going to tell you the story now. So, do you remember when ITV did the telethon? It was like their version of Children in Need, but ITV. Yeah. So I was hosting the Manchester side. So, and then
I remember you doing it actually. Yeah. I think,
and it was so much fun. And as you can imagine, the champagne was flowing like blooming water. Anyway, so it all finished. Everyone was, obviously we'd raised millions for brilliant charities. And literally, I was in continuity for Emmerdale. Now, for anyone listening who doesn't know what continuity means, we film completely out of order. So within one day, I will probably get changed 6 times. There will be 6 different episodes, but the same set, right? So I'm heavily in continuity for Emmerdale, filmed either side of each episode. And idiot here, obviously full of champagne and very, happy with life, decides to jump from hotel bed, from bed to bed, doing fame jumps from bed to bed. Only I fell on one of the jumps and I broke my wrist. Right? Well, I didn't know I broke my wrist because I was so full of champagne, didn't really hurt that much.
Someone else who broke the wrist and didn't know about it, Lisa.
So weird. We've just been talking about this before you came on.
The intro.
Really? Oh my God, that's crazy. I've literally put it under a bit of cold water, woke up, and then bear in mind, on this particular day, I'm supposed to be starting filming at 4 p.m. back up in Leeds. Well, look at my wrist. It's completely blue and purple. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. And every time I was like, and I'm like, no, okay, I'll be fine. Anyway, put my clothes on, got dressed. And I got in the car, and this woman in the lobby, she recognized me. She went, Miss Riley, I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean to be intrusive, but I think you've really damaged your wrist. And I was like, oh, no, I'll be fine. And she said, please go and get an x-ray. So I rang work and I said, look, I know I'm going to be on set, but this woman said, and I've had a fall. Of course, I've had a fall. and then basically I went, goes to Otley General, goes in A&E in Otley General up in Yorkshire. And of course, it's broke in 2 places. So I ring the exec producer and I'm absolutely cacking it thinking, right, what am I going to do? Because I'm in continuity. I was like, yeah. I just fell. So I said, right, okay, come to work. They got me this huge chocolate brown cardigan, tucked it in the cast in hope of no one noticing. Well, I don't know if you remember, but years ago, David Letterman had his own chat show, late night show in London. And he invited me on and he decided to out what I'd done on television. Well, of course, I'd lied to my boss about how I'd done it. And I was like, thank you so much. And that was one of those moments in life when I thought, wow, I did get away with quite a lot back in the day. Being too raucous and too full of champagne. Yeah.
I think I've done stuff like that in the past and not realised, when you were saying about not really identifying with being an alcoholic but having a problem drinking. I massively relate to that, Lisa, because I've been the same. I never stopped drinking because I thought I had a problem drinking. I just wanted to see who I was. And the longer I've been sober and I look back, I'm like, oh, was it problem drinking? Like my partner, like we went to primary school and high school together, but we actually only re-met like 4 years ago. So I've met him.
The Notebook.
I know. But so I had to like date sober, and we got together like through sober. And sometimes he'll say, did you have a problem like before? And I'm like, and I really don't know how to answer it. I kind of have, every time he asks me, I have a different answer, because I'm like, no, absolutely not. I just did it for an experiment. And I wonder if sometimes there's like little bits of shame still attached to the things that I did before I stopped drinking. And like you, I'll remember things like that and think, oh yeah, that was showing me that I weren't a really good drinker and I perhaps should have stopped.
I 100% know. There's no doubt in my mind I was a problem drinker.
Yeah.
No, I mean, again, don't relate to an alcoholic, but I've got a really good theory around this, even if I do say so myself, right? My theory is Lisa and I grew up around piss pots, like really serious piss pots. My dad was an alcoholic. He died through drink. Lisa's stepdad ended up dying through drink. We both grew up in pubs. So everybody you met and had conversations with were either drinking casually or alcoholic, unfortunately. Yeah. And a lot of them self-proclaim, like you said, I'm an alcoholic, whatever. And I used to compare myself to them. And because I didn't drink like them, I wasn't an alcoholic. So it keeps you safe when you surround yourself with people who are, and I say this really kind of tongue in cheek, it's not a nice thing to say, worse than you.
Yeah.
And if you just hang out with people who are worse than you, you're not the alcoholic in that group, are you?
I know. I can relate to that so much, because now I look and I look at like my old life and like my friends like that I used to knock around with a lot. And there was a function recently, and I have to step back, and most of the time I actually say no, and I don't end up going. There was this one particular scenario where I went, and not that I felt uncomfortable because I was sober, but it became like, oh, and it had the elongated oh, are you still not drinking? Who does that? Are you still not drinking? Babe, I'm not the one with the problem here. I've got a great life, but they feel better with their elongated O, right? To make themselves feel better. And it drives me to distraction. So much so, the amount of events I go to, and I never tell people I'm leaving. I just go to the loo and don't go back. And me and Al, I'm not going to tell you our code. We've got a code, me and the other half, right? And it's 3 things we do, and that means it's game over. I've had enough. And bless out, Al loves to drink, but there'll be some functions that I'm just going. And also I find myself sitting back and I watch the room rather than actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
But what was weird, like when you're saying that about like both your dads and stuff like that, I didn't have any alcoholics in my family. Oh, my family loved to drink, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But we were at a Dingle Bash. So little Sam Hall, the actor who's played my nephew in Emmerdale for years, it was his leaving drinks 3 weeks ago. And we all got together as the family like we do. And none of the Dingle family have ever actually, they're really proud of me, but they've never sat down and said, like they did this. And James Hood, who plays Sam, my cousin, we've been, dearest best mates for years and years. I love him to death, like a brother. And we're all just sat in the square and usual. And Will Ash goes up and he goes, Lise, can I get you a drink? I was like, yeah. Just San Pellegrino, fizzy water, fine for me. Drinks come back to the table. And Jim looked me directly in the eye, who I've known all my life. And he just went, do you think you are an alcoholic? It was really weird because I was like, and because then at one point, boom, it's like that, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire moment. Boom,
yeah,
right? And I was just like, well, yeah. And I said, however, and I kind of took my eye line around all of them and I went, I don't think I'm ever going to drink again. And I can honestly say that. I can't say that about a cigarette. No, I can't. I know that. But I can sit here with the people, my co-workers who I love like family. And I can truly say, I don't think I will ever drink again. Because it's dead weird with me now. I actually hate it. And I don't like it. I don't, like I said before, I don't like me with it. But yeah, there's occasional, like we've had, Al's mum passed away. I had 2 cigarettes. Oh, big wow, right? But I'm not a smoker at all, but I did have, 2 cigarettes then.
Yeah.
But because I used to say that about like a glass of Malbec and a silk cut, it was like spag bol. It just went together perfectly.
Yeah.
It really was. They just sat well together. But then when it's your work colleagues sort of asking you like that, you just think, no, I'm in a really safe place. So I can say, yeah, I did have a real problem with drink and sort of not knowing when to stop,
That's it. I think they're not knowing when to stop. And I'm very much like you in the fact that I don't like alcohol. I hate it. I hate when I really, really think about what it does to people and how you see them change. And I think not drinking, when you go to events sometimes and you can see that glazed look in people's eyes and the things they said that they would never say before and the things that it's caused, like especially running Be Sober now and the effects that we see that it's had on people's lives,
and on our
lives, on our lives. It's when you really, really think about it, it's a drink. Like, I can't believe that we're all so obsessed with drinking. Do you know what I mean? It just...
Every word you're saying, I'm like, I love you for voicing it. Yeah. Because
I a bit of liquid.
More. And I love the fact that slowly, I don't know if you two have seen this, but I have seen a difference since COVID, the volume of people that just don't drink and that, and that are so proud to say it. And, and it's like the supplement cocktails, you can, all the cocktails you can have if you want, or it's okay to drink water. And the other thing, I don't know if you girls have this, but when you have water, you don't get in on the round because you're not that thirsty. It's like, that water will last you while they have 3. And I'm a social person. I adore people. I love social events. But I just want to be me and the truest version of me,
and it gives you that, doesn't it? Sobriety really, really does. You can't be truer than that and authentic.
It's like you went back right at the beginning when you said raw. That's what it is. You live life raw when you're sober all the time. And, it's a good place to be, isn't it? I mean, I was just thinking about what you were saying before about the rawness of life and how you experience things. What do you do now then? Because there's like 2 or 3 questions involved in this. Do you drink non-alcoholic beers and stuff as well?
I had like the other night. I tend to always. I love having fizzy water because it looks like a G&T, so it shuts people up. I will probably just have a bottle of water. I had a 0 porn star martini the other night. We had one of our friends' birthdays, and I was just like, I'm just drinking fruit juice. And sometimes I'll get a double espresso especially if I'm feeling tired. I'll have a double espresso and then I'll stay on the water again. But normally what I do is I go at 7 with all my mates, but literally they're like, oh, Nana's going for a long wee. And that means Nana's going for a wee and not coming back. I'll leave all the young ones to it. So, and then we've got a WhatsApp group at work and I'll be like, I'm home safe. And I don't want the whole, stay, you won't freaking remember that I'm there or not. I know what it's like because you're on number 6 now and you go off and have a ball. And then I love it more than anything when I wake up the next day and on the group chat, it's like, 3 o'clock we were doing handstands. I'm like, yes. So I live vicariously. And of course I play Mandy Dingle, who I think really is an alcoholic. Mandy Dingle, she wherever she goes, there's a bottle of wine with her. She has shots like it's water, and they write it for me. It's always like Mandy's on karaoke, drunk, and I just so I don't I'm playing drunk rather than
you get to do I kind of like that.
It's kind of nice to be drunk without the poison being drunk.
Well, can I ask you the question, right? Do you get this? Because this is one of I call it my hand scratching moments when I'm out. So when they are on, say you're in a social thing and they're on number 6, right? Let's what can we say? Right. So let's just say we're talking and then I go, I like Satsumas. And Lisa goes, I like Satsumas. And then you go, no, I don't like Satsumas. And then you'll go, And then they don't own who they are and what they believe in. And
I get what you mean.
And I'm like, own who you are. You're allowed to say, actually, no, I don't like it, actually. And the biggest observation I have is what I call the over people pleasing. Like, and when they're drunk. And I'm thinking, well, I must have been that person too. So I think, but it drives me batshit crazy. It drives me. But people who don't own who they are when they're out, you know.
Yeah, I get that.
It proper gets me scratching.
Do you know what drives me mad?
Go on.
When you said before about them going the long exaggerated, my cousin, I went to a family event about 3 years ago and I'd not seen any of them. It was my mum, I think it's my mum's birthday anyway, not seen any of them, but they're quite big drinkers, my family, a lot of them. And she did this, hi, I got my full name. Hi, Alexandria, how are you? I'm all right, thanks, how are you? Are you still not drinking? Just like you said, right? So this is back then a few years ago. And I went, no, I'm still not drinking. And then she announced to the room, right? The full room, Alexandria had a little problem, didn't you, sweetheart? Right? But I didn't own it. Just what you're saying is reminding me. I didn't own it. I was just like, And I thought afterwards, I was really annoyed. I thought, I didn't know.
I was fuming when you told me that.
Yeah,
I wanted to go and sort them all out.
I was really mad. Anyway, what's made me think was last month I was at a new event, same people, same scenario, back in a garden, and she was there again. And she went, I'm such a bitch, I know I am. Oh, sweetheart, are you still not drinking? I went, no, but I see you still are.
Love that. Love it.
Do you know what I mean? I would never say, are you still drinking? Are you still drinking?
I know. Yeah. There's that badge. That's brilliant. I love that, Alex, so much. And the other one is, right, this one now, and here I am at 48, right? But I just feel like since you stopped drinking, I just feel like we've drifted apart. What? Because you're still absolutely getting shit-faced. Yeah. No, we haven't drifted apart. It's because they have some form of internal angst to the fact that they think that we're going to have a problem with it. We don't. You can sit with me, get absolutely obliterated. I'm not going to judge you. I'm still going to love you. And we'll be on different wavelength, but then the night will just stop sooner.
And you'll go and have a long wee.
We've just drifted apart. We haven't drifted apart. It's obviously something deep rooted in you that you have a problem and you don't want to. Yeah.
It happened to you, didn't it, Lisa? It happened to you at the beginning. My Lisa. My Lisa. It happened to you at the beginning, didn't it, though, when you stopped and you'd with like your friends and everything and not being invited?
Oh, yeah, because I'd said, like, I would just carry on doing all the things. As part of my experiment, I would do everything that I did, but without drinking. But then the invites did this is how Be Sober started, because all my invites just stopped. They just weren't interested at all. Yeah. I just didn't. But the long I always remember when my youngest daughter, she's 18 now, but when she was at school, one of the teachers were talking about podcasts, and she said, "Oh, my mum does a podcast." So she said, "Oh, what's it called?" She said, "Oh, Be Sober." And the teacher went, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like, give her a little pat. Wow. She came back from school absolutely devastated. She was like, "Oh, my teachers think you're an alcoholic because you do this podcast."
They branded you.
Yeah. I said, well, tell them we'll go in and do a talk, because we were doing workplace talks then, Alex. Yeah. So, and one of her teachers since is now sober, one of her head of year. Wow. And so.
Did you feel, Lise, did it hurt your feelings a lot by the invitations lacking?
Yeah, massively.
She questioned as well. You questioned yourself, didn't you, a lot?
In the beginning, in truth, I found it really, really hard, Lise, because one of the things that I'd done is I'd kind of announced to my social media that I was stopping drinking for 100 days. That's what I decided to do. And I was like, oh, that's the long time.
It is when you've got 2 holidays in the middle of that as well.
Yeah. I realised I'd had holidays, birthdays, all things like that. But I'd had a cracking hangover. I didn't want to do it anymore. And that 100 days was really hard and it was really lonely. And the weekends at the time seemed to last forever and ever and ever. I was getting up and I remember by 11 o'clock, I'd blitzed my house, I'd been for a run, I'd done all these things. I'm like, it's 11 a.m. What else can I do today? So like, it was, I felt really like, I took it really personally that people, if they didn't like me for drinking, did they not like who I was without drink? Is it this person that they liked?
Yeah.
But I look back now and, well, Be Sober wouldn't have started without them moments, you know, and I always said this, but my mum, and I've said this before on the podcast, is when I told her I'd stopped drinking at first, she was fuming. She was like, I don't want to hear about that. And we work together. We've got a family business. So I work with my mum and my 2 daughters.
And she's young Lisa's mum as well. She's a young mum.
Yeah. And she was like, don't be, why do people have to go on about it all over the social media when they stop drinking? She just had no interest. And then when I put my 100-day post on, I'd done it really loudly and proudly. And I put the post on. I'd said I was like one of 20% of the country that didn't drink. My mum read that post and she was like, hang on a minute. She'd seen the difference in me. She'd seen how much my skin had got better, how happy I was, how more confident I was. And like what you were saying before, I would own stuff. I wouldn't say yes just to fit. I'd be like, well, actually, no, I don't really like that. Or
that.
And when she saw that, so my mum now is, if I'm 6 years, she's like 5.5 years sober, my mum now.
How amazing.
I know.
Lisa turns everybody sober.
Pardon me, sorry.
Lisa turns everybody she knows sober.
I try really hard.
My husband, her mum, her Amazon man, her postman, honestly, a nail lady, a daughter's teachers, honestly.
Oh, Brill. I love that.
I just think the benefits and what you said before about the positive thinking and like, I don't think I was a natural positive thinker. I've worked really hard at it. And some people will say now, like, oh, it's easy for you because you always see the bright side. And I'm like, years it's took to do this, years. But I think the positives of being sober, and I think for anybody that's struggling, is to focus on all the amazing things that it brings, like all the benefits, because it really, really does.
Well, look what you've done though, there, Lisa. You've now created a squad that wants to be with you for the right reasons. And you've got squads of friends who on the periphery that were part of your life. That's okay, you know. But it's we're not getting any younger either. We're not. And so as long as I'm on this earth, I want to live with this positive headspace going, you know, life's really, really good fun, you know.
And it can be good.
It's not evidently not like, you know, all 3 of us, we're obviously not shy women, are we? You know, it's not like really. Not like we need a drink.
What do you mean?
We even talk, you know. I'd say we're confident northern women, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh.
When because obviously Ruth, well, not obviously, I'm going to say it now. Ruth Jones actually put us in touch with you because you're friends with Ruth, aren't you? And you spent really some time with her recently. And I hope you know this, but one of the things she said was, you'll have a great time with Lisa. She's great fun. She said she had such a lovely time with you when you went down to London to see her in the show.
It was wonderful. And it's, again, like Robo mouth, not stopping talking. I love her so much. You know, we had I'm so proud of her. I'm like her biggest cheerleader. Humility runs through that woman. And I know
she's lovely, isn't she?
Oh, her humility kind of, it goes before her. And that's why she's so adorable and a great, great friend. And I love her. And she said that you'd been in touch. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. But what you said before was about your Instagram. That was really funny. So when you started saying about like, I'm going to do my 100 days. And then people then are all like, yeah, I'm so proud of you. You do get a small percent that are like, and I get this, yawn, oh God, it's Sean about sobriety again. And I can't help the fact that if I go on Lorraine or if I go on like GMB or This Morning and I'm asked live on television about sobriety, sobriety, I have to answer the question. And then all of a sudden, like on the Mail of Line, like, the corner of shame, as we call it, like, then it's like the headline, Lisa Riley is sobriety. It's like, mate, I didn't speak about it. They asked me, I'm live on it. You don't want to sound like you're being this like never-ending preacher. And then you get some of the society going, oh, yawn, she's off again, going on about it. It's like, no, I'm not. I was asked about it. And I am so proud about it, Yeah.
It needs people that I'm glad that I know you might not be, Lisa, but I'm so glad that they put headlines about it, because I think getting the word out there in a positive way is so good. Like, the stories are changing now from, like, we've had one of our ambassadors recently have an article in Take a Break or something like that. Nice. And the writer for it wanted stories of positivity rather than how crap my life was and I had to stop drinking because I was at rock bottom. They wanted people with stories that actually I decided to stop drinking and my life's become amazing since. So I think they're twisting it a little bit now in some cases. It's probably not the same for you because of like who you are. People love a story, don't they? And they want to kind of,
Yeah, of course they will. Yeah, that's what they do.
But it's so nice for people like you to be raving about sobriety. It really is. I love it.
Like when I put it on recently, like that cup of number 9. And
yeah.
I was gleaming about it because I was like, it's unbelievable. And all I kept thinking, I said it to Al that day. I was like, next year we'll be 10. It's a 2 figures thing.
I get it.
Like, I'm not even so happy that it's 9, but this time next year I'll be posting, that's double figures. That's a big part of my life.
Yeah. And has it flown by? Flown by?
Yeah, flown by.
It's because you fill your life with such good things, though, isn't it? Like you were saying.
Yeah, and it's all stuff I want to do, and I want to be there. Like, me and Al weren't lucky enough to get pregnant and have our own kids, but I'm a big part of my brother's kids' lives. Like my 2 nephews and my niece, they are my world. Mm-hmm. And consequently, like you're saying about your mum. So my brother now is on his 5th month sober. And I'm like, what? And then he'll say things like, well, I'm going to Abersock. I might have a beer, and he'll come back from Abersock. He's like, didn't drink. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not pushing him, and I'm so proud of him. And then Jakey, my eldest nephew, went, I think Dad's following you, Lisa. And I was like, amazing. And I love being there for the kids and that zest of life, that I want them to see that it's really good and you don't need to drink to have a good time.
Yeah, I think we are a good influence on our kids in that. I mean, we've both got grown-up kids now. I've got a little one as well. Long story is 8. It's not that long story, right? I got with someone else and had another child. I don't know why I said long story. Wasn't. I just had another baby. I was 38. Dead short in it. See, as you can see, you can take the alcohol away from the girl, but you can't take the dickhead away. Anyway.
Never change.
Don't change fundamentally. We've got like teenagers, and I've got to say, my 19-year-old son, he does not drink like I used to drink. Not at all. Your Olivia, she's not going to be a drinker, is she?
Well, no, I've just had a family holiday actually with my mum, my eldest daughter, my youngest daughter, and my granddaughter. So we've just started.
I can't believe she's a grandma.
I know.
You look about 26.
Oh, thanks.
Somebody told her that the other day.
I know. They said 33 in the gym. I was like, oh, that's so good. But no, we've all just been to Ibiza. So that's like, my youngest is 18 and Beth's 26, my eldest. Neither bothered really about drinking at all on the holiday. Beth would now and again have a glass of wine with the dinner. That was it. Olivia got a cocktail. It was too strong for her. She ended up leaving it, which we were fuming about because it cost about 20 quid for this cocktail. Start again.
Yeah. No, I'm with
you. They just don't drink the same. And absolutely, I do believe it's because, well, I think it's changing anyway, but I think the influence from us as well.
I see that with the next generation. They're not like us. Yeah. They're not like, drinking Mad Dog in the park.
We were wild though, weren't we? People in their 40s now. We were, because what happened then, we got to that back end of like where all the equality stuff started and we really took it literally. Like, we will drink, all you men under the table. We'll beat you at pool. We'll kick your asses.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to hold us down. We were ladettes.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Totally agree. Yeah. And I remember being at work and it was always me with all the lads as well. And we were happy to be that. That was fine. You know,
I loved the fact that I got a reputation for being able to drink some of the lads under the table. I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Do you remember doing that with the bendy straw when you put, and then you could do?
You could get down with the WKD.
Yeah. And they'd be like, yes, Riley's the winner. I was like, I used to love it. Then I was like, go on, have another. And then before I know it, it's like, yeah. And now I'm on number 6, you know. Yeah.
Did you do it with WKDs?
Yeah, always WKDs.
Yeah. I was the blue one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the same. Yeah. Yeah. I know, it's crazy. But looking back, look, we're still laughing about it. But I do agree that this generation, they're different.
Yeah.
I think they're more like a generation of control freaks. They like to be in control. They seem more fearful of getting it wrong. And remember, we didn't have iPhones back then.
No.
So no one could really, remember what we did.
Just as bloody well, innit?
And then you could deny it. You could deny it all back then, couldn't you?
Doing the splits in the aisle of the bus on the 469 going up Tottington Road. Yeah, there's no evidence of that.
Only the 15 people that were with you, and they were half cut as well.
God, no.
It's true.
Oh, it's been amazing having you on, Lisa. It's been so lovely to meet you.
I've known you for ages.
I know I do as well.
I've known you for ages.
When you're next over in Bury, we'll have to meet up and have a coffee or a water.
I know. It'd be lovely. Yeah,
if you're free on the weekend of the 13th of September, we're actually up in, where is it? Bowden.
Bowley. Is it Bowley?
Anyway, near Blackburn, we're on a weekend camping. You're welcome to pop and join us.
Okay, brilliant. Get down with nature. I love that as well. Yeah.
I think Ruth might be coming to that.
Oh, nice. Brilliant. Yeah. No, email me everything. Definitely all the address. But the when you said that then about that cocktail, now everyone that knows, you asked Ruth this, anyone that knows me, they'll probably say I'm quite generous. I'm proud that I'm a generous person. I don't particularly like tight people. Here comes my however. So recently and since COVID, me and my other we've been to New York quite a bit, right? Now, you can have my left arm. You really, really can. But the bill came and Al got a glass of Sancerre. £19. £19. And I'm like, for that. And it's just a bit of, now I'm at the point where I'm like, really? Like, what, you could go and see a play for 19. £19 for that bit of fluid. Get yourself to the supermarket. But yeah, when you're abroad now, you can really tell the difference. Yeah.
Oh, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
I'm glad, honestly, if for that alone, I would actually be bankrupt post-COVID now if I'd have carried on drinking through that. Honestly, I'm not exaggerating. I look at people in the shops that I am being judgmental. I don't mind owning it. I look at the
trolleys. Own it, Alex.
I'm owning it. I am. I look at the trolleys and I think the shopping bill will be like 220 quid and they've got like 6 or 7 bottles of wine in there and I think, you could literally take 80 quid off your bill.
Pop that back on the shelf. I know.
Yeah.
How many friends have you got that because of COVID started having a bottle a night?
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know so many, and they're still in that pattern. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you not remember, what was it called? I can't even remember. No, I've got the word mixed up again, Lisa. Do you know, what was it called where they had like martini breaks at work? What was it called? It wasn't martini.
What, like on Zoom sessions?
On Zoom meetings, yeah.
I don't know. I really want to help you.
Let's call it a Pinot pause. A glass of Pinot for a Pinot pause.
No, but it was, they had whole Zoom meetings based around the name of a certain cocktail. It's going to come to me after and I'm going to be fuming. I'm going to be dead mad.
We'll write it in the notes, Alex, if
I'm going to be so mad. But yeah, there was whole work meetings going on with like espresso martinis and stuff like that. And they had a name.
Wow.
And that was normalised.
We went to Manchester, Alex, and we did that, one of them first workplace talks that we did. And they used to have something called Fridge-Free Fridays. So it was what kind of business was it?
Marketing.
Yeah, marketing.
HR and marketing, yeah.
Yeah, and it was on Canal Street in Manchester. So as you walked in, there was like adverts for cocktails or whatever. But they had fridge-free Fridays. And apparently this is a big thing if you work in Manchester. And they just fill the fridges up with booze. And you can drink it all day on a Friday from work.
Wow. And like, is that for team building, guys?
Like, what the hell? I was gobsmacked when I saw that.
I'm stunned with that. That's crazy.
Yeah. When I was 20, I'd been like, I want to work there. But
it's common though, isn't it, that? It's not even a them thing. This is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. They do it. Yeah.
They'll say it's like a camaraderie team building thing.
Yeah.
But no, you're just all getting shit-faced.
Yeah, but there a massive sort of like flip side to that, because I remember working at a certain college not too very far away that I might have mentioned in this episode, where they would say, don't all get shit-faced at the work party. Remember, you're still representing work, but it'd be a free bar. Don't put me in front of a free bar, mate. Tell me not to drink too much, because I'm telling you, I'm missing the train. I'm getting sick down myself, and I'm finding a phone box and thinking I'm on my mobile phone in it.
All true stories. All true stories.
Room at its best. Spinny room. Yeah. Spinny room. Yeah.
Oh, I hate a spinny room. I've got to tell you that now. Did you ever put your leg out of bed just to try and stop it?
No, I used to be sick. I had to be sick. Yeah.
I was a sickie.
Yeah, I had to be sick. Aren't we glamorous?
Sick. I was. We'll go back to hunchbacks at the beginning of the episode. I look on my final day of drinking. I've said it before, and I know it's not PC, but I looked like a vomiting hunchback. I was crawling down on all fours, and it was like I woke up. I was like, "That's it. I'm doing 30 days off the booze."
I don't want to be that person.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that was a big trigger for you, obviously.
I'm really glad you've just put back in my mind how much I hate spinning rooms and hangovers. That's got me another year at least.
Never a spinny room again. Never.
Yeah, it's gross.
Oh,
it's actually gross. Oh, but honestly, it's been lovely meeting you and chatting to you. We'll have to stay in touch.
Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, and you're gorgeous, and keep doing what you're doing, because we need more of this. You know, it's the correct language, and I'm loving it. And thank you for your time. It's been brilliant.
Oh, thank you for your time. Honestly, it means so much. It really does. And thank you to Ruth for putting us in touch as well.
Exactly, she's a dream. Definitely,
she is. She is. Oh, thanks, Lisa.
Love. Stay northern. Stay northern.
I hope it.
See you later.
See you later. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning into our podcast. We really do appreciate your support. So to stay updated with our latest episodes, be sure to follow or subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to share the Be Sober love with your friends, helping us reach even more people.
If you're interested in learning more about the impactful work we do, or you want to become part of our incredible Be Sober community, visit our website at besoberofficial.com. There you'll find all the information you need and discover how you can get involved. We look forward to welcoming you into our community of change makers. Until next time, be brave,
be kind,
and be sober.